It's never too late to change the direction of your life that will honor God and give Him glory. The death of his dad changed the direction of his life. Steele Croswhite went from traveling the country with his successful secular band, opening for others like Maroon 5, Sheryl Crow, Foo Fighters, to pastoring a church in Salt Lake City, Utah, the state that has the highest Mormon population and only 3% identifying as evangelical Christians. This is his story. This is today's Nashville. This is faith. Steele, it is so good to see you again. Thank you for being on today's Nashville.
Thank you for having me again. It's, well, the first time, but good to see you again as well.
Thank you. You know, you went from rock star to pastor.
Yes, I did.
Tell me all about it, but let's go back from your childhood and how it all started.
Oh boy, that's quite a story. Well, I grew up in a musical home. The first time I performed, I was singing at age 5. My dad was a musician. A lot of music in my house. I was not raised in a Christian home, though my family, they all became believers later in life. I started my first band when I was 15 years old. Prior to that, I was playing acoustic guitar in coffee shops and performing songs from the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Van Morrison and Elvis Presley.
Well, what even got you started in music?
Oh, my dad, for sure. My dad was an old-time musician. In the 60s, he played in several bands, and so there was just a real love for music in my home. Music was always something that was a part of our culture. Always we were talking about it, watching movies about it. So definitely was started at home, and my dad was the one who taught me how to play guitar. So he was the one who also ushered me into performing music, you know, he recognized a talent at a young age, like I said, and just kind of pushed me in that direction. So coffee shops at 15 and pizza shops at 15, and then I started my first band, and by age 16, secular band, not a Christian band. I was the singer, songwriter, guitar player for that band, and to try to make a very long story short, was signed by a record deal at the age of, I believe, 19. Success started to follow shortly thereafter.
So music was your goal and your career.
And my God, no question about that. Yeah, it was all the focus, and I still, to this day, I've reprioritized my loves, but music is still the passion of my heart. But certainly back then,
So what happened after you were signed?
Well, let me talk a little bit about that. My dad, who was my best friend, he became a Christian later in life, and I also became a Christian at about the age of 12. And I would say from 12 to 16, the Lord was Lord of my life. That's an important statement.
Let me go back.
Sure.
Tell me the moment that you did decide to follow Jesus.
My sister was going to a church in Utah. A Lutheran church. Utah is the least evangelical state in the whole country. And she found this great little church through a youth group, and she started going to youth group. She became a Christian. She's 3 years older than me, and she invited me to youth group. My parents thought she was crazy because we weren't in a religious home. Who's this girl now that's in love with Jesus? Well, that passion and love of the Lord she brought to my family, and I became a Christian. She led me to the Lord at age 12. Then my family became Christians thereafter. And there really was a moment of transformation at that time. And yet, from the ages of 12 to 16, the Lord was the Lord of my life. And by 16, music had become God. And so that's an important note, you know, in talking about what happened when I got signed, is that my passion for Him became dwindled because music had taken over.
So at 19, then what happened?
We were in Las Vegas for a showcase where you would go and present your music to the world. You know, record execs would come and managers would come. And we went there, this is before social media. So we went there 3 days early, 5 days early to Las Vegas. We were playing at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it's called The Joint. It was an awesome venue. We went there about 5 days early to do what's called street not outreach, that's a Christian term, but just telling people about the band. There are posters everywhere, and the day before the show, my dad, who was the manager of our band at that time, in that 5 days had made a lot of connections. Come and see this band, come and see this band. And so there was a lot of buzz about us. And when the day before the show, my dad passed away suddenly of an abdominal aortic aneurysm. And when he passed away, it was like everybody in that casino, all those places for that music event had come to see this performance of this band. And we played the show the day after he passed away in honor of him as a remembrance kind of moment. It was kind of a movie. It was like a movie. All these record execs, all these managers had come in. And the next thing you know, we played that showcase, and it was almost immediate that there was record deal offers and movie offers and treatments for videos and things like that. It was definitely a place where it was like, if there was a movie montage, it would have felt kind of blurry and fast, and oh my goodness, what had happened? We had gone from a band that was playing around regionally and getting quite a lot of success to suddenly at the doorstep of significant opportunity. Shortly thereafter, we had a number of different record deal offers, and we settled on one, and things really started to move at an incredible pace thereafter. Though underneath it, the Lord had become so not important to me because music had taken over. And then I had lost my dad, and so everything was so convoluted. And yet, there I was on the kind of precipice of a lot of opportunity.
The day you lost your dad and you were playing, what was going through your mind?
Oh, heartbreak, loss. I felt lost, completely lost, entirely, completely lost, and hopeless, really. Yeah, I didn't know, because he was my best friend, and he had brought us to this place, and suddenly music felt like I had to do it. I had to do it to somehow like make, in some ways, like his death matter. I don't know. It was horrible.
How'd you deal with getting on stage and just performing that night?
I think there was a tremendous amount of, I love music. And there was a lot of honoring that was there for my dad because he brought us there, right? Like there was this management component that he believed in our band, he believed in me, and he had set these shows up, he had met all of these people for the opportunity to be able to say, hey, my son wants to be a touring national famous musician.
Did the audience know your dad had just passed?
Yeah, because he had networked with all these people prior to our show. That was the whole point. We went there early so that we could go showcase and talk about our band, and there was a lot of buzz, and so all these people had met my dad. He had gone and met them and had meetings with them, and then they found out he had passed away. And in support of him even, the place was so full, packed with music execs. And so they knew that something had happened to the manager of this band, who happened to also be the father of the lead singer. And so there was it was very movie-like. It was a very interesting night, a lot of energy in the room.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about what God did in your life after the passing of your dad and how it transformed everything.